It was a dark time of oppression, lockdowns, and limited freedom. One man struggled to be free, coming face to face with the tyrant who forbade it.
I beg that you kill me. I release you from any sin in taking my life. In fact, I pray that God reward you for your mercy to do it. And as for you, my brother, back to the prison you shall go, and into the mask you hate.
Wear
it until you love it!
Man in the Paper Mask.
Welcome to Biden's America.
Joe Biden, he's the man with the Biden touch, a creepy touch.
Obama Biden hasn't really had a great week last week. In fact, he just had one event after another event where he just kind of kept, well, walking in it. The week began with him touring the Ford Motor Plant in Dearborn, Michigan, where he got to check out the brand new electric Ford F-150. And while he was there, of course, he had to give a pep talk to the workers. And, you know, Biden just loves to connect with people on a personal level. Whether he's groping them, sniffing them, he wants them to know, hey, I'm just like you. And he went back to the well and he rolled out the coal miner story.
I swear to God, when he left Scranton, when coal died, my dad was he was a salesperson. He wasn't a coal miner. My great-grandpa was.
There's one slight problem with that. Joe Biden's grandfather, uncle, in fact, nobody in his family was ever a coal miner. And he had to admit that in 2004. Yeah, Biden, who had actually done a major plagiaristic steal of a speech from a London politician when he was running for president back in the 80s, told this story about having a member of the family who was a coal miner. And then it came out that no, was not a coal miner. And so here's Biden admitting, yeah, that cost me an election because I lied. I didn't have anybody in the family who ever worked in a coal mine.
Hell, I might be president now if it weren't for the fact I said I had an uncle who was a coal miner. It turned out I didn't have anybody in the coal mines, you know what I mean?
Really?
I tried that crap, about, it didn't work. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I figured there had to be a coal miner somewhere in the family.
Nothing, huh?
Nothing. Coal, it was an engineer.
But old Dementia Joe just apparently forgot, and he went back to the coal mine story, there with those auto workers in Detroit, trying to show them, I'm one of you. But that wasn't the only speech that Joe Biden flubbed this week. You've all seen, I'm sure, the clip where he actually insulted the graduates of the Coast Guard Academy. Basically told them they were dull. And, come on, man. Wow, really? You do that at their graduation? Tell them they're salty and they're ready to defend the nation and then tell them they're dull? What a great message to send to our enemies around the world, Joe. But it wasn't just that. It was the fact that once again, Joe Biden engaged in plagiarism and he wanted to give a famous quote. But apparently he didn't think through who he was quoting and who he was quoting that to.
We have to make sure that women have the chance to succeed and thrive throughout their careers. It's a Chinese saying. It says, women hold up half the world. It's an absolutely stupid position not to make sure they represent at least half of what we do.
First of all, when he says they have an old saying in China, no. That was Mao who said that. Mao, the communist leader of China. Mao, who rose to power with a lot of bloody swords. He took power and he laid waste and killed political enemies. Mao, not a nice guy. Mao afflicted and inflicted a lot of pain and suffering And, a lot of people under his regime just ended up being taken away in the middle of the night by the secret police. Mao, your typical tyrannical communistic leader. And the President of the United States giving a commencement address to graduates who are going to serve the United States, and they're a branch of the Navy. And right now, we don't really have a more serious geopolitical enemy than China. And China Joe, who he and his son have taken a whole lot of money from that region of the world, decides to misquote a communist leader to young people who one day may actually find themselves in a skirmish or an outright fight or battle with the very country that he's quoting. Well, he misquoted Mao. Mao did not say women hold up half the world. What he said was they hold up half the sky. And that was a challenge for those women not to join the military, but rather that they leave the home and go to work in the factories of China so that the men could do the important work. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Way to go, Joe, trying to be woke, trying to be equal, and you flubbed it.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say, son of a
President Biden was canceled by Notre Dame. Well, the White House claimed scheduling conflict that he would not be able to address at the commencement services this year the graduates of Notre Dame, which is a tradition which has been followed through for many years. Every president, or at least the VP, has gone to commencement and said a few words. But the Notre Dame community, which is made up of alumni, graduates, faculty members, boosters, signed a petition. In fact, 4,300 of them signed a petition that Joe Biden be uninvited from speaking at Notre Dame. And in this letter, in this petition they cited, he rejects church teachings on abortion, marriage, sex, gender, and is hostile to religious liberty. He embraces the most pro-abortion, anti-religious liberty public policy program in history. The case against honoring him is immeasurably stronger than it was against honoring President Obama. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I've asked, where are the bishops? Where are the priests saying they would not give Joe Biden, only the second Roman Catholic president, would not give him communion based on what he believes regarding abortion, same-sex marriage, genders, etc., etc., etc. 4,300 community members of Notre Dame said, nope, he ain't coming. Joe got canceled. And speaking of his anti-religious liberty, College of the Ozarks has been around for over 100 years. It is a Christian institution. Not only is it a Christian college, but it really focuses in on vocational training for Christian young people. And it's faith-based and very traditional, very Christian-rooted in its teachings. And now they find themselves the victims of a Joe Biden executive order. Go figure. Apparently, one of the 100-plus executive orders that Joe Biden signed his first 48 hours in office included the Fair Housing Act, which Joe now extended it to include anyone who is gay, transgender, gender non-binary, fill in the blank. It now includes all of them, and it is now to be applied not simply somebody going out to rent a house, but through any organization or entity that provides housing as part of its compensation. You've got to agree. You've got to capitulate. So the College of the Ozark, a Christian institution, is in hot water in Missouri with a judge because they will not make their dorms co-ed. They will not make their shower facilities co-ed. And according to the new Biden executive order to the Equal Housing Act, the Fair Housing Act, they're in violation of the law. Now, this is going to make it to the Supreme Court. But can you imagine telling a Christian institution, which the Bible has some pretty clear things to say about things like adultery, fornication, morality, etc., etc., etc. If a young man decides he's a female, you will let him live in the female dorms. If he identifies as female, you will let him shower with the girls. That's just not going to fly in any Christian institution across the country. But this is Joe Obama, and it sounds like the community at Notre Dame has this absolutely pegged right, that he is more hostile to religious liberty than any other president in history. Which now makes me want to say to all of you evangelicals who were mounting petitions at the end of the 2020 campaign saying that evangelicals absolutely should not vote for Donald Trump. Thank you. Look what you gave us. And that's that rant. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell, click the word all to get notification of my next rant.